Hi guys, welcome to this Consul Hangout. And today we have a very special topics for you because we're going to talk about growing your group and working in the team with the co-consuls. So it's me again, Anastasia from the InterNations Academy, and also Morgan.
Hi everyone.
From the Groups Team. So we are really glad to welcome today our three special guests from one of our top communities from Tokyo, all the way from Tokyo. So please welcome Chilanga, Raina, and Niels.
Hi everybody. Hello.
So I can give a little introduction because Niels is also our ambassador, and he has, if you believe it or not, he has 9 groups, and he's managing them very well as a consul. But of course, he also works with other consuls. For example, he works with Chulanga in the Tokyo Outdoor and Nature group, and also with Raina in another group. So I'm sure they will be able to give you some tips and advice on how to effectively work in the team of the consuls, how to divide the responsibilities, and also how to grow your group. So I would address Niels first, since you're such an experienced consul. Please tell us a little bit more about how do you actually get your co-consuls on board, how you manage to get the fellow consuls to do the activities with you.
Thanks for asking that question. For me, they join InterNations and they see the activities that we are doing, and they love the activities, and then they come to us. They ask like, I would like this too, or can you guys do this kind of activity? We encourage them to activities or to join existing consul in an activity group, and then this is an easy way to get started for making activities. And once they have found their own way of doing it, or another consul, they can discuss about how to share certain tasks. Basically, a good way of drawing people as a team.
Thanks, Niels. So yeah, that's a great idea. If people are interested, if people are coming to your activities and they express the interest of going a bit of an extra step and becoming consuls, it's really nice to get them on board and yeah, to engage them for the support of the existing consuls. Talking about your teamwork together with Chulanga and Raina, how do you actually divide the responsibilities? Maybe Raina and Chulanga can also add on that. How do you manage to actually have a schedule that is good for everybody, and at the same time you keep up the activities constant?
In terms of scheduling an activity, what's most important is one to have your activities lined up well ahead of time. When we do it, we plan probably 2 months in advance, because one, we need to make sure that we have enough time to promote the activity before it actually starts, and then also distribute the roles as well as responsibilities well ahead of time. Obviously, all consuls and ambassadors all across the world who are members of InterNations, various other things, and they're in their professional life. So one, they need to dedicate a little bit of time, and then therefore we have decided that we need to give ourselves at least 2 to 2.5 months time to prepare for an event, and then we take alternate occasions on which we say Niels will probably plan. Now it's December. Niels will plan from March to April. Reina will take over from June, July, and I'll do again August and September. So we know when we have to do an event, and then we can plan accordingly and then distribute our responsibilities evenly.
Thanks. That was actually a very good answer, because planning is really important. And if you already know who's taking over when, it's obviously very easy to plan ahead and also to have everything scheduled, so there's no inconsistencies and you always have a fresh activity for your group, for your members. I would also like to ask a question. Obviously, the three of you are very well in working as a team, and I don't think you have experienced the issue before. But what about if your co-consul has a different idea? So if your fellow consul wants the group to go in a different direction and has totally different ideas for what types of activities could be interested for the members of this group, what would you recommend in this case?
And we have, so the one thing that we do is we sit down, we discuss what is the amount of effort we need to put in, and then we see the drawbacks. What if enough attention to our on a very high level, so that we have sort of like a goal and an agenda in mind, and then we just try to execute all ideas, because it might not always be right, and if another person has an idea, there's definitely members in the community who enjoy that idea as well. The idea is giving more newer events, and just executing all ideas. So what we want to do is just see if there is any abilities or any risks, assess that, and then execute the activities. You've done quite a few activities like that, yeah?
I don't think we heard enough of the first comment, but what we got out of the second part of your advice was to get together to clear out what is the goal and the agenda for the group, and then actually give the freedom to the fellow consuls to organize different diverse activities, because obviously if your group has many members in it, each of the members could find something that they would be interested in within this general topic of the group. Would you agree with that, Morgan?
Yes, certainly.
I hope I managed to summarize your point, because we kind of lost a bit of connection at the beginning.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, that's exactly what we said, and then we just emphasized that no idea, and we just discuss amongst each other how we can execute it, because I mean it's always good to get a second opinion, and we all three of us look at activities and we approach activities in different ways. It's always good to get each other's opinion and then have a plan as to when we want to do the activity. Obviously, if we feel that there is a high risk that the activity might not be popular or we might not get enough attendees, we discuss as to how we can make it better and then use that core idea to make maybe a different event. Yeah. So that way all the consuls are happy, the group is happy, and we're able to give new, better events every month.
Yeah, it's definitely. It definitely proves the point that three heads are better than one, because obviously each of the consuls bring different ideas to the table. It's very important to communicate between yourselves, to discuss different possibilities, to challenge each other, to analyze what could be best suitable for the group. I would like to come back to Morgan, and since she's representing the groups team, today I would like to ask Morgan, what would be your advice on how, obviously our consuls who are watching us right now, they think, oh wow, I might get a fellow consul on board, right? So what would be your advice on how to do that in the most efficient way, since you've been in contact with so many consuls overseeing your communities?
Yeah, of course. So we get asked this question a lot. I mean, sometimes folks don't really have all the time in the world to constantly organize monthly activities. So something that we offer is to get another consul on board, and we really advise our consuls to utilize their next upcoming activities to help promote this role face to face. And I think this is the best option in a sense where you can really try to get people to know the role itself on a more personal level. And if you feel this doesn't work, you can always utilize the platform itself and post a wall posting or send along a private message to your group members. And if you still don't receive word, you can always get in touch with your group's manager personally, because we're also more than happy to help promote the role itself and personally send private messages and try our best to find another consul that can assist you in regular activities. Because of course, as Anastasia said, 3 heads are better than 1, and this helps share in the responsibilities and help create more activities for your particular group.
Thanks, Morgan. That was very precise explanation on how you can get a fellow consul on board. But also, what about the onboarding process? Would that be the responsibility of the existing consuls of the group to actually take the person by the hand into the new role? Or would the group's manager also support people in that way?
Yes, of course. We are always happy to help and to offer any sort of helpful tips to help acclimate this new volunteer to the group itself. But I would say, since our existing consuls are on the ground in the particular community, I believe our volunteers can really offer a lot of advice, and you can decide whether or not you wish to organize activities together or maybe separately. Perhaps, I mean, life is busy, so trading off on the responsibilities can also assist in this position.
Thank you, Morgan. Hopefully that was very useful for you guys. And now back to our speakers from Tokyo. Now we talked about getting the fellow consuls on board, finding them, communicating with them, but also making sure that you communicate proper responsibilities, you have the common goal for your group, you share responsibilities, and you plan ahead. So these are, I think, the most important things that we got out from this part of the discussion. What about actually growing your group? Have you had any experiences how working with the team of consuls actually help you to grow your group, to attract more members, to make the activities even more interesting for the members so they would join month after month?
So I just encourage people basically the feeling that they would like to try becoming a consul or would like to do their own activities. I always encourage members. Personally, what I do is, if I know that somebody wants to do it, or I have the feeling that they want to do something, but they are not yet sure if it's, then I will kind of provide the framework, go ahead and book the location for them, concentrate on what they want to do. Like this, I make sure that the restaurant is informed. They know how many members they can expect early on time, and let them know that I'm there to bake them up. And then I maybe do this the first time with them, and then let them actually do. They are the main, of course. I'm there in the background to support them. That's one way of doing it. And then they get more comfortable because they kind of have a little pressure only, and they can do the part that they actually enjoy most. And I think this is most important for people that start us, to actually feel the personally and don't feel like it's pressure doing this stuff. And out of that comes basically the empowerment that you want to do more in the future. And so flexible nowadays because I have a lot of experience. So when I hear that somebody wants to do something, I encourage them in all possible ways. Let them do the part that they want to do, and I think that if they're completely fine with that, or if they just need information, I provide them information. If they need a place, I book them the place and let them take over in front of the. So there are multiple ways how you can onboard these people. Yeah? I work with them through the I make them aware of and troubles that they might be facing when they do it. Give them also constructive feedback of how to avoid this kind of issues.
Okay.
On how to grow a group by working with Consuls. Maybe just to turn, just said wanted an example. So, for example, Araucanites group in Tokyo. I work together with for example, we would go for a canoe activity and go in the evening right after. Yeah, so we spend the whole. And what this does is it gives an opportunity for two to interact, enjoy, maybe both activities at the same time. And this we see usually helps us improve and increase the number of people in each of the groups. So we've seen that the Karaokanites group has risen, as well as the outdoor activity group has risen as well. This is perfect when you have consuls working together, and this helps groups grow.
Thank you very much, Langa. Unfortunately, we couldn't hear the first part of your comment. Could you maybe repeat it? Maybe we have a better connection now. I'm sorry about that.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, I said I think your question was more on how can consuls working together, how can they increase the size of activity groups? And you wanted an example. So I said one example is we had, because I'm a part of the Karaokanites group in Tokyo, as well as outdoor activities, the two activities sometimes. So we do a canoeing event in the afternoon. Canoeing event, we go for a karaoke session. This way, some of the members who are not really outdoor people, they sometimes come early to the canoeing event as well. So then you have the outdoor activities group growing as well as the karaoke group. So it helps us activities, and this is a perfect example of how the number of members in each group grew. That was the first part of it.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you very much. It's actually a very interesting idea to be a consul of multiple groups and then combine them, and in that way attract even more members from other groups to certain activities. I think we could never thought about this before, but it's a very good tool to use in order to grow your group. And coming back to the comment made by Niels, yeah, I think it's also important. If you want to get a fellow consul on board, it's important to share your knowledge with them, to share what maybe locations have worked well in the past, what kind of preferences your group has already developed during this time that you've been a consul, and also a bit supporting them in terms of, as you say, booking the place or arranging something, but then from that point on, giving them the full responsibility so they can actually enjoy and have fun. And that's actually what we say is the most important part of being a consul, that you have fun, that you bring together people who have the same hobby, who share the same interest, and you should be the one who actually getting the most enjoyment out of it. Also, it is a bit of the preparation that you need to do, but we do believe that this creates so much more value, and if you have fun and if you really enjoy what you're doing at your activities. I think we're coming to the last couple of minutes of our hangout, and I would like to ask you to give each of you, Chalanga, Raina, and Niels, to give us your one top tip for the consuls regarding either working with their fellow consuls or growing your group through working with fellow consuls. What would that be, Niels?
Okay, for new consuls, one tip that I would give is keep it simple, focus on being able to enjoy it instead of making it complicated. I think at the beginning it's very important that you enjoy it for the reason that I mentioned earlier already. So keeping it simple allows you to focus on the conversation with the people and the contents of the activity. And it's always good to start simple, and it gets complicated later easily enough when you have more people joining. But at the beginning, I think it's very important to keep it simple.
Thanks. Raina, would you have a top tip for our consuls?
Me?
Yeah.
The same as I enjoy an event. I want them to enjoy.
My tip, I think the only piece of advice, if it was if the question was based around new consuls or working in teams, I think for me when I first joined, I spent a lot of time creative events because I was always believing that quality over quantity would be better, and I wanted, because I was starting out, I wanted the community to trust and enjoy my events. So I spent a little bit of time doing some very interesting events, after which when they came and they realized they were unique, then for each of the events I started doing on a monthly basis, the numbers grew. So if you are just a new, I think spending some time doing a creative event along with your consuls gives you more experience, it gives you an opportunity to learn the ins and outs, but also gives the community the faith and trust that your events are good. Be a little creative, spend some time, plan a bit. Activity is always the key to success.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have keep it simple, enjoy your activity, and that way you will spread the enjoyment among your group members. And try to be a bit more creative sometimes to get the word out and to attract members to your activities. So then many people come and you enjoy them, the activities with them together. Morgan, what would be your top tip?
Yes, for new consuls that have just joined an existing group, I would say to really explore the platform itself. Try to learn from other groups, utilize your group's manager because they're your contact person here at HQ, and they have a lot of learning materials and all sorts of advice to provide you with in specific situations. So I would really say explore your various tools and use the platform itself to your advantage.
Yeah, that's correct. I think we do have quite a lot of knowledge around here since we do talk to many consuls on regular basis, and we do know what kind of things could work better in your specific communities. As well as the good tip from Morgan was to just browse our page, browse the page of your community at InterNations. And that way you will know like all about different creative activities that are going on, and maybe you'll get ideas for your own. So I think that was a good one as well. I would like to thank you so much, Chalanga, Raina, and Niels, for joining us today and bringing all the great spirits from the Tokyo community, and hopefully helping some of our consuls who are watching us to work in the team with their fellow consuls and to manage the group growth. Thank you so much. And to our watchers, to our viewers, we'll be online quite soon again. So good luck with your activities. We are wishing you a very joyful holiday season for the next month or so. And we're looking forward to working with you in 2017.
And we see you in the next Hangout session. Don't go anywhere.
So bye, guys.
Take care.